Usha Vance has been capturing attention with her blend of intelligence, grace, and poise. Despite being married to a widely discussed political figure, she has largely maintained a low profile, until recently. Usha is finally stepping into the spotlight and bringing a long-awaited revelation with her. So, why is everyone talking about her? Let's dive in and find out. But before we get into the exciting details, let's take a step back and explore where Usha Balachandran Chilukuri's journey began. Born on January 6, 1986, in a quiet suburb of San Diego County, California, Usha Vance's journey began in a home shaped by intellect and ambition. Her Telugu Indian immigrant parents arrived in the U.S. in the 1980s, chasing new opportunities and a brighter future. Her father, a distinguished mechanical engineer from the prestigious IIT Madras, also lectured at San Diego State University, while her mother made her mark as a molecular biologist and later served as a provost at the University of California, San Diego. Growing up in Rancho Peñasquitos, an upper-middle-class neighborhood, Usha was surrounded by academic excellence from an early age. With deep roots in the Telugu community of Andhra Pradesh, India, her family seamlessly blended their rich cultural heritage with American life. It's no surprise that Usha became a powerhouse in her own right. In 2003, she graduated from Mount Carmel High School, where her interests extended far beyond academics. Music wasn't her only talent. Usha Vance also played the flute in the marching band, adding yet another layer to her well-rounded personality. Growing up alongside her sister Shreya, she quickly became known as a natural leader and an avid bookworm, already paving the way for her future success. Her academic journey took her to Yale University, where she graduated summa cum laude in 2007 with a history degree and earned a spot in the prestigious Phi Beta Kappa Society. But Usha wasn't just about hitting the books. She was making waves outside the classroom too. Whether volunteering at elementary schools, leading a Girl Scouts troop, or stepping up as the editor-in-chief of Our Education, an education policy publication, she proved she was a multitasker on a mission to make a real impact. After Yale, she took her talents overseas as a Yale China Teaching Fellow, teaching English and American history at Sun Yat-sen University in Guangzhou, China. Then, just to add another impressive milestone, she headed to England as a Gates Cambridge Scholar, earning a Master of Philosophy in Early Modern History from Clare College, Cambridge in 2010. Clearly, Usha wasn't just following the academic playbook, she was rewriting it. By 2013, she had added another major achievement to her list, earning her Juris Doctor from Yale Law School. But she didn't just blend into the background. She took charge. She held leadership positions as the executive development editor of the Yale Law Journal, managing editor of the Yale Journal of Law and Technology, and an editor for the Yale Law and Policy Review. Her commitment extended beyond the pages of journals. She immersed herself in hands-on work, contributing to the Supreme Court Advocacy Clinic, the Media Freedom and Information Access Clinic, the Iraqi Refugee Assistance Project, and the Pro Bono Network. With accomplishments like these, it's no surprise that her husband, J.D. Vance, often describes her as brilliant and openly admits that she's far more accomplished than he is. But what Usha didn't realize was that her next big milestone wouldn't just be about professional success, it would be about meeting the person who would change the course of her life forever. Usha Chiku and J.D. Vance's love story began in an unlikely setting, Yale Law School, under rather surprising conditions. It was their professor, Amy Chua, who played matchmaker, despite thinking they were complete opposites. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. Opposites really do attract, and these two were no exception. While balancing the demands of law school, they found themselves collaborating on a project about social decline in white America. Hardly a romantic backdrop, but it somehow sparked something between them. They enrolled in the same courses, growing close as friends before romance gradually took hold. Their bond strengthened even more when they were assigned to co-author a legal brief. Usha admired JD's relentless dedication, while JD, on the other hand, fondly referred to her as his Yale spirit guide, a testament to just how much he relied on her during their intense academic journey. By the time their graduation rolled around in 2013, it was impossible not to notice. They were clearly meant for each other. Just a year later, in 2014, they exchanged vows in a uniquely blended interfaith ceremony in Kentucky. Their wedding combined the richness of both their backgrounds. Jill Giovanni read from the Bible while a Hindu pandit offered blessings, seamlessly merging Christian and Hindu traditions. Though Usha remains devoted to Hinduism, JD, who was raised evangelical, made the choice to convert to Catholicism in 2019. What started as a scholarly connection evolved into a deeply rooted partnership, one that respects both their differences and the values they share. Now, Usha and JD call Cincinnati, Ohio home, where they are raising their 3 children, Yuan, Vic, and Mirabelle. And here's a fun tidbit Usha revealed at the 2024 Republican National Convention. JD didn't just embrace her vegetarian lifestyle, he went all in, learning to cook Indian cuisine under the guidance of her mother. If that's not commitment, what is? Beyond her role as a wife and mother, Usha has always been dedicated to giving back. She serves as a trustee for the Washington National Opera and has previously held board positions with the Gates-Cambridge Alumni Association and the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra. Her passion for education and the arts runs deep, perhaps not surprising considering her family's legacy. Her grandfather, Chilukuri Ramasastry, was a physics professor at IIT Madras, where a student award now bears his name. Meanwhile, her great-aunt, Chilukuri Santama, is a physics educator in Andhra Pradesh and has even authored an English interpretation of the Bhagavad Gita. Usha's professional achievements are just as remarkable as her family's intellectual contributions. After earning her degree from Yale Law, she gained invaluable experience clerking for some of the most respected legal minds in the country. She worked under Judge Amol Thapar, Judge Brett Kavanaugh, and eventually Chief Justice John Roberts. During her time at the Supreme Court, she played a role in a pivotal case, AAR v. Garza, which dealt with reproductive rights and an undocumented immigrant minor. For nearly 6 years, she honed her expertise in civil litigation and appeals as an associate at the prestigious law firm Munger, Tolles & Olson, where she split her time between the San Francisco and Washington, D.C. offices. Her work put her at the forefront of high-profile cases in education, local government, entertainment, and technology. Whether in the courtroom, at home, or in her community, one thing is clear: Usha Vance leaves a lasting impact wherever she goes. Among her notable clients were Paramount Pictures, Pacific Gas and Electric Company, the Regents of the University of California, and a division of the Walt Disney Company. However, in July 2024, Usha made a life-changing decision. She stepped away from her legal career to prioritize her family. Once again, she proved that she is deeply committed to finding harmony between her personal and professional worlds. Before her time at Munger, Usha laid the groundwork for her legal career as a summer associate at Williams & Connolly, Taft, Stettinius & Hollister, and Levine, Sullivan, Koch & Schultz. Not only does she hold a law license in California, Ohio, and the District of Columbia, but her legal background is also undeniably solid. Beyond her remarkable career, Usha has consistently been active in cultural and community service. She has taken up leadership roles, including serving on the board of the Gates-Cambridge Alumni Association, as well as stepping in as secretary of the board for the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra. Managing numerous roles simultaneously is second nature to Usha Vance, whether it's handling major legal cases, advocating for local education and arts, or balancing life at home with 3 young children. So, when Donald Trump revealed JD Vance as his vice presidential pick for 2024, she wasted no time, stepping into the political scene with unwavering support for her husband. However, her decision didn't go unnoticed, stirring debate due to the couple's previous stance on Trump. What exactly is the controversy about? Let's take a closer look. During the Republican National Convention in July 2024, Usha delivered a moving introduction for JD, launching his campaign for vice president with a deeply personal message. Since then, she has remained a trusted advisor, accompanying him on campaign trips and even making public appearances alongside him. But this is where things get complicated. JD Vance, most recognized for his memoir Hillbilly Elegy, became a controversial pick for Trump's ticket. The reason? His history with Trump has been anything but smooth. Between 2014 and 2016, leaked messages and emails revealed that Vance had been an outspoken critic of Trump, labeling his rhetoric as both divisive and racist. He even suggested that Black Americans would bear the greatest burden if white voters propelled Trump into power. At the time, convinced of Hillary Clinton's inevitable victory, Vance chose not to cast a ballot at all, admitting he wouldn't have supported Trump even if he thought it mattered. His criticisms didn't stop there. Vance had once identified as a staunch never-Trump Republican, openly condemning Trump's base for what he saw as racially charged sentiments. At one point, he even cautioned that Trump's inflammatory remarks would only heighten racial tensions. And Usha? Her views weren't much different. Nearly a decade ago, she was a registered Democrat and kept her political beliefs largely out of the public eye. But everything shifted after the events of January 6, 2021. Friends recall her being enraged over Trump's role in the Capitol riot, describing her as deeply troubled by the unrest that fueled his political rise. At the time, she wasn't just someone who disagreed with Trump. She found his influence outright disturbing, as confirmed by those who had worked closely with her. Those who knew her back then have been left completely baffled by her current stance. Many were stunned by her Republican National Convention speech, with some even calling it surreal. But fast forward a few years, and the landscape changed dramatically. By 2021, J.D. Vance had flipped his stance entirely, aligning himself with Trump and attributing his transformation to Trump's accomplishments in office. In a recent conversation with Fox News' Bret Baier, Vance didn't attempt to soften his shift. "I misjudged Donald Trump. I doubted his presidency, but he turned out to be an exceptional leader. That's why I'm committed to securing his second term." As for Usha, a Vance campaign spokesperson declined to confirm whether she had cast her vote for Trump in 2016 or 2020, while also refraining from denying reports of her past criticisms. One thing, however, is crystal clear. Her perspective today is a world away from where it once was, and she now stands firmly in Trump's corner. While J.D. Vance campaigns, Usha stands firmly by his side, ensuring everything runs smoothly from behind the scenes. She played a key role in helping J.D. prepare for the 2024 vice presidential debate, and her efforts clearly paid off. Many regarded J.D. as the debate's standout winner, receiving praise from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Los Angeles Times. The impact of Usha's influence was undeniable, as many credited her for helping J.D. deliver such a sharp, well-prepared performance. But this moment was only the beginning of their journey, which took an even greater turn in November 2024. When J.D. Vance was elected Vice President of the United States, Usha Vance officially became a national figure as the incoming Second Lady. By January 2025, Usha had already made history in multiple ways, breaking barriers as the first Indian American, Asian American, Telugu, and Hindu to ever hold the role. More than just a personal milestone, her journey reflects the shifting landscape of American politics toward greater diversity and inclusion. Usha's path has been intriguing, as she transitioned from privately disliking Trump to fully embracing her place in this evolving political era. It's a tale of transformation, perseverance, and finding a sense of purpose in unexpected places. Now, as Second Lady, she finds herself at a pivotal moment, ready to leave a lasting impact. J.D. has never hesitated to acknowledge Usha's role in his success, once writing in a heartfelt post on X that she was the force behind it all. While her influence on his campaign was evident, Usha herself has remained more reserved about what she envisions for her new position. In a conversation with NBC News, she admitted that the whirlwind pace of events left her with little time to reflect on her responsibilities as Second Lady. Taking a step-by-step approach, Usha mentioned she intends to gather insights before shaping her role in the administration. However, stepping into the limelight has not been without its difficulties. Becoming Second Lady has introduced a new set of challenges, and Usha is prepared to face them head-on. Alongside raising 3 children, Usha Vance has also had to contend with a wave of criticism, much of it stemming from far-right circles attempting to use her Indian heritage against her. This scrutiny has only intensified given Trump's controversial immigration policies, which have already stirred deep national divisions. As a result, many are closely watching how Usha will navigate her role within an administration where diversity often clashes with conservative ideals. During the 2024 election season, Usha found herself the target of particularly vile online attacks, though she was not alone in facing such hostility. Harmeet Dillon, a prominent Republican leader of Sikh and Indian descent, encountered similar treatment. However, the situation escalated further when J.D. Vance was announced as Trump's running mate. Internet trolls swiftly shifted their attention to Usha, criticizing her both for her Indian heritage and her interracial marriage. Some even propagated absurd conspiracy theories, including one bizarre claim that her presence signified an orchestrated influx of Indian immigrants. The advocacy group Stop AAPI Hate was quick to denounce these attacks, labeling them as part of a broader and more disturbing pattern. The organization highlighted how many Asian Americans and immigrants had already been feeling uneasy during the election cycle, and this surge of backlash only exacerbated their concerns. Furthermore, they connected these attacks to a long-standing trend of racial hostility in politics, noting that even Vice President Kamala Harris had faced relentless criticism related to her background, coinciding with President Donald Trump's brief attempt to strike a unifying tone after surviving an assassination attempt at a Pennsylvania rally. Speaking at the Republican National Convention, he called for national unity, stating that the deep divisions in society must be healed. However, in typical Trump fashion, the sentiment did not last long. Before long, Trump reverted to his usual rhetoric, declaring immigration to be the greatest invasion in history. On the 2024 campaign trail, he doubled down on his hardline stance, claiming that people were arriving from all over the world, South America, Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, while accusing the administration of failing to act. His impassioned speeches resonated strongly with his base, even though they did not align with actual data. Ironically, while Trump fueled fears about immigration, official figures from Customs and Border Protection told a different story. Border encounters had been steadily declining for months, painting a stark contrast to the narrative of crisis being pushed. According to the agency, the number of encounters at the southern border had fallen by more than 50% within 6 weeks, undermining the alarmist claims. Despite the political storm surrounding immigration, Usha Vance has largely refrained from addressing the controversy directly. Yet her presence in the political sphere has ignited discussions about identity, race, and belonging in America. This decline in border crossings was largely attributed to President Biden's executive order limiting asylum access at unofficial entry points, contradicting Trump's dire warnings. However, immigration remained one of the most contentious and emotionally charged issues of the 2024 election, fueling debates across the political spectrum. Amid the chaos, Usha Vance's position as the first Indian American and Hindu Second Lady stood as a historic milestone. Alongside Harmeet Dillon, she became a symbol of progress, yet her experiences also highlighted the persistent struggles America faces in addressing racism and xenophobia in politics. Even as she embraced this new chapter, challenges and criticism followed her. While Usha has not publicly detailed a specific vision for her tenure as Second Lady, one thing is evident: her unique background and quiet strength are already leaving an impression. For years, she remained out of the spotlight, dedicating herself to law and family life. Now, she finds herself at the forefront of American politics, navigating a world filled with new opportunities and immense pressure. With her legal expertise, cultural heritage, and steadfast support for her husband's political career, Usha Vance is poised to make an impact in ways yet to be seen. Her role as the Second Lady carries more weight than many realize. Though she isn't the one delivering fiery speeches or leading major initiatives, her subtle influence is shaping conversations in ways that may have a lasting impact. As Usha embraces this position, the way she manages her duties, stays true to her beliefs, and navigates an administration filled with intricate political challenges will be worth observing. The road ahead remains unpredictable, yet one fact stands firm: her path is only getting started. What lies ahead for Usha Vance? That remains to be seen, but her journey is already a testament to change, resilience, and history unfolding.